Yo, back on Tales of Arise. I couldn't just leave this game alone forever. Although I had started thinking about doing so. Anywho, yeah, we're gonna probably have another 10 minutes of talking. Flip. Here's the thing. You know, playing a JRPG, I expect a lot of dialogue. But I also expect characters that I like. You know? You don't mind listening to characters that you like. You don't mind finding out more about characters that you like. Heck, even when you don't like a character, if it's a good character, you still don't mind. But everybody here is like trash. It's so bad. Anywho. I'm dreading walking up this hill. Flip. But I have to do it. Like how the wind is blowing her skirt, but not enough to lift it up to see her butt. They're like, well,
cause nothing but worry.
Underneath this skirt, we didn't actually model
As much as I try
an
to
ass or our underwear or anything like that, so we can't let it go all the way up. We just give it a little lift. It's like, but you have the model for the swimsuits. It's like, yes, that's the swimsuit costume.
Do you
think we were doing extra work for this one?
Your friend?
No.
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two, and before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renans. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that.
No joke, I zoned out for this entire conversation. Son of a gun.
Don't worry, it's okay.
I'm not
dying anymore.
She was saying something about friendship, and then I
too many people along the way
I started thinking about other stuff. I was gone.
So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water.
I started sitting here contemplating life and stuff.
But I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion.
I'm sitting there talking about, man, people are right about turning 30.
Can finally live in peace.
Things do change a little bit.
But I swear
and then I realized this game was still going.
To the very end.
Oh no.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
See, here's my thing. With this game,
Everyone well rested? Then let's go.
And whatever.
Depart for Lenegus.
Can it, you? The thing I was gonna say is with this game, I don't remember much of anything that's happened over me playing this game. And that's a problem. Cause I still remember things about Ryudo from freaking Grandia 2. And I played that game like 20 years ago. I think it came out like 20 years ago. I have to check and see. The point is, I haven't played Grandia 2 in a very long time. And I bought the HD version because I planned on playing it, which, you know what? I have to play Grandia 1 because I never played 1. I played 2, 3, and Extreme. Never played 1. And people were like, oh, Grandia 1 is the best one. I'm like, personally, I think 2 is great, but okay. I'll have to check it out. So when the HD version came out, I bought it. Both 1 and 2. But I never played either of the HD versions of it, so I'm gonna have to get around to that. Play Grandia 1, then 2. But my point is, I still remember stuff about that game 20 years later. This game, I can't remember what happened 20 hours ago. It's like, well, flip. Like when she was talking about, remember when you first called me friend, I was like, hell no. Oh goodness. Then she started talking about what was his name, Deadeye or something like that. I was like, I don't even remember that character. What the flip? I don't remember any of this stuff. I remember Hootle. I'll remember Hootle for 20 years. Like I'll be like, people be like, oh, you remember Tales of Arise? I'm like, the game with that owl that was high all the time. That I'll remember. I'm gonna go ahead and do this rest so I can cook up a recipe.
Rise and shine. We're almost ready to leave.
Okay, now that's done. You know what's? I'm sorry, I got distracted. Oh goodness, but flip, that really did distract me. I don't remember what I was about to say. Dang it, game. Oh, I was gonna say that the thing about this game is it's not that they're not trying, because I feel like they're actually trying to make you care about these characters, but the characters are just trash. You know what I mean? Like they give you all these opportunities to talk to them, but they're just trash. Like it doesn't matter how much you talk to somebody that you don't want to deal with. It's not gonna make you care. Because you're given all the opportunity in the world to sit here and get to hear more dialogue from these one-note characters.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that. You're going to jinx us.
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
The flip?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
So now we're calling the ship Hootle 2. Oh, flip.
I like
The
it.
perfect name, Hootle
Sounds
2.
Perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure.
You know, it's
I'm
a ship,
completely convinced,
flies through the sky,
but-
which means it gets
well,
high.
it's as good a name as any.
Hootle 2.
From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
I like my name better.
Okay, people. We have 2 goals.
My name doesn't
First,
have
we need to
fall
get
in
to
it.
Lenegus and make the Renans finally leave Dana alone. And then we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
Because like I was saying, it's not they're not trying. They get these long breaks of dialogue talking to these characters. The problem is the characters just suck. The characters suck and the story's kind of basic. It is what it is. The gameplay is decent, but like with most JRPGs, you know, after you've done it for 30 hours, it just gets a little dull.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
It's like Kingdom Hearts 3. Because, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, well, you know, the reason why you're not having fun with Kingdom Hearts 3 is because you're not playing it right.
I guess you're right.
It's like,
It
no.
does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
If you give me some busted mechanic
From up here,
that allows me
the
to
struggle
breeze through
feels
everything,
so insignificant.
then
Nothing like
that's your
realizing
fault,
how
not
small
mine.
you are to put everything into perspective.
I shouldn't have
Kinda
to
makes the difference
sit here
between
and,
the
and
Lennons
adjust
the Ganons feel
playing the
pretty
game to
small
make
too,
it
huh?
fun. It should just be fun.
How much
That's the
longer
thing with
until we
this.
reach
It's like, oh, you get new moves to do, and it's
There are
like,
better ways to
but
use
most
your
of them
time than
suck.
napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
You get some
Good idea.
decent moves
The starship may end up serving as our
that
base
are
of
very
operations
useful,
once we're down there.
and none of the rest of them are.
Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
Then they have moves
that
with
case,
elements on
she's
them.
all
They're like,
yours.
oh, well, you know, you do this element, and it's a weakness of these enemies that you're fighting. But at the same time, you can just plow through them with regular attacks. You don't need the
Like,
weaknesses.
in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You
As long as you just break them and do the team move.
It suits you.
See, but here's what I'm talking about. Like right here. This is a giant cutscene masquerading as gameplay. And that's what I was saying. They give you opportunities. Let me just talk to people who are here first before I walk all the way down there. They give you these opportunities to talk to the characters and try and get to know them, but they're just bland. Doesn't matter how much you talk to a bland character, they'll still be
Something
bland.
wrong?
No, I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left?
Like
Lennons?
Dohalim here. He's a
Even
pimp. And
someone
that's all
like
there
you
is to
can
it.
get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me though, you too have a history with Lennigus. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult
And I try not to be
emotions.
a downer. I know it sounds jacked up to say now. It's like, you made like over 100 videos of being a downer on this game, but I'm not trying
I
to.
said I hadn't thought about it. But I
I've been
can't
trying to
keep
enjoy this,
The past is what it is.
and the game is making it hard for me.
But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
We'll be going to Lennigus soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lennigus like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Man, but it's
Let's
crazy.
just
It's like
say
I
I
don't
don't have many
want the
happy
game to be
memories.
bad.
I've had thorns my whole life. For as long as I can remember. They called it treatment. But in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean they experimented on you?
Just
That's
these
right.
cats aren't
All I
interesting.
was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them
Son of a
touched my
gun.
skin. How
Hope
could I
that didn't pick
forget
up
it?
on the mic. I had to take my
I knew
headphones
I
off for a
was in
second.
pain.
Thought I
Like I
heard
was a
something.
monster or
And then I
something.
realized the headphones were right
Some
next to the mic.
existence, huh? A blight on any I
So you might hear
touched.
some double audio
Helplessly
there.
Complicit in their pain. I
That
thought
would be
things couldn't
my
get any worse.
bad.
But then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. Why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right?
That's actually kind of funny.
It's that logic that's used to justify slavery.
And I don't think it's supposed to be a joke. That was actually kind of funny.
The struggle was never about saving
Drew the
only
short straw
ourselves.
on the destiny
That
stakes.
doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction.
See, that's another
that
thing. It's
has
not
to
like
include saving each other
I've been
as well.
100% just
world free of
ignoring the
sacrifice.
dialogue either.
That's what you've been fighting for
Like
all
outside of a
along,
couple of
isn't it?
times when I just completely zone
Trust
out
me.
because they're
We're
boring,
together, remember?
I've actually been listening to this
It's
junk.
yours too, Shion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it, the true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars.
You know what
We
I've
can
been
do
really
this.
thinking about?
Together.
How they could have done this better. You know, as far as the characters. I think the biggest problem is because when we beat the first boss and that mask broke, I assumed that that is how the game would go. You fight each boss, you lose a chunk of the mask, and maybe he'll get more of his memories or something like that. That's not even how this went, not even slightly. Like, they decided to go with the whole, each boss was basically one of the characters on your team's boss. Like, the story was just about that one character for whichever town or stage you were at. And that's just how this game went. So what happened was your main character here just lacked a lot of build-up and development until he finally got to his boss. And it was like, who cares now, you know? Your main character needs to have a lot of personality. Or else you might as well just give people a custom character. Like if Alphen was a customizable character, like maybe a silent protagonist, and we just focused on every other character, this game wouldn't be as bad as it is. But because he's a character that's supposed to matter, I don't know. Well, you know what? Let me just get to moving. We've already sat through a bunch of talking anyway.
Talking and
Hey, shut up!
We need to speed up and try to get
What's
some
gone wrong,
gameplay, man.
only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renan technology.
You know, like all
Got
jokes
me
aside,
in One Piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point.
Law is
If
probably
you
the
think so,
character
Alphen, it must be
that has
okay.
the
Don't
most
you agree,
dynamic of a
Law?
personality.
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
Like everybody else is kind of just the same the whole time. Law actually changes up from time to time, you know?